Hi!
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode, weekly recap, Survivor and Utopia. And what are we starting with this week, Guude?
Well, we started with Utopia last week, so I guess we're alternating people. Survivor it is.
So, I think the first thing we need to say is... first thing that's on my mind, I'm sure it's on yours as well, the flint.
Right. Well, we talked about the preview from last week, and speculation was either they lost it again or they actually found it. And I've been saying since they lost it, they were going to end up finding it. And sure enough, they found it. And so they show up to the challenge, or challenge, and they're like,
Drew's so dumb. He's so dumb.
Yeah, he's really dumb, really dumb. Like, no one to try. Everyone tries is basically like, no, this is a bad idea. Don't even ask Jeff. And Drew is all, I'm gonna stand up for the tribe. I'll do it. I'll take one for the team.
And there's a picture of Drew on the screen now for everybody as well.
Oh man, we're getting fancy.
Like, trying here.
Jeff picks on him. He's like, oh, it's not even been used. New in the box. You want to do a return? Then no, it didn't happen.
Yeah. So, besides the fact that, Drew is an idiot and just thinks God, his whole personality just doesn't even make sense to me. It doesn't belong on the show Survivor. It's just so non-strategy focused, or strategy focused in the dumbest ways. But either way, other than that, finding of the flint didn't seem to be a big deal.
I know, right? Like, no one lost their shit about the fact that we've only won one challenge, and the one challenge we won, we got a flint for it. Like, I kind of thought that would, bring up the drama again, right? Like,
yeah, I assumed it would as well. I'm kind of glad for John's sake that it didn't, because he's the one who lost it. And I think basically Drew helped overshadow the stupidity it could have been, or the anger that could have been, because of the fact that he was so dumb about it. But I thought that was pretty damn hilarious that he thought there was actually a chance that Jeff was going to try.
Right, yeah. Like, and he's like, I just want a spear and a snorkel.
and a mask. And he just kept adding in. He's like, you don't have to give us everything. How about just like a mask and a spear and a snorkel? And just call the game right now and give me the $1 million.
Right. Here's a flint. That's what I got. Man.
So that all happens at Heroes Arena right before they get going for the first challenge, which for the life I'm drawing a blank on what it was. I remember who
they had to throw the 3 grappling hooks, get 3 balls or 3 bags of balls, and then catapult them. Which I actually really like the way they did the catapult, where you had to use your feet to kind of do the catapult thing, so it wasn't so. I don't know. You kind of it's not as easy to measure. I feel like probably. I don't know. I like that challenge.
So you had John versus his girlfriend Jacqueline out there for this one. Very, very close.
Yeah, it was really close.
I thought that was pretty cool. Now, initially they used their feet for the catapult, so it wasn't so easy like you were saying. Just toss the ball in there, so you can do this. No, they had made it seem like, and this is what confuses me about challenges in Survivor as well. They made it seem like you have to jump onto this catapult to put this thing in there, and then they start learning a strategy of, oh no, if I only put 1 foot down on it, I have better aim. What's your thought about being able to do that? Do you think that's just part of the
that's what I
game
figured they were supposed to be doing. I don't think they ever would have made if they had to jump. There's no way.
Well, they did in the first couple, and the person, when they showed the little preview of it, it showed both of them jumping down on the thing, and then they got the better, smarter strategy, which I'm personally okay with. I think it's, once you're given rules, if you can find a way to exploit them, I'm all about exploiting them as long as it doesn't break them in some way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you were the same or if other people.
I jumped, man, because that would have been a body weight thing always, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have had the control you needed, I guess. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. No. I really like that challenge there. And then the guy won, right? It was really close. Yeah. John won.
John won.
And then who'd they send to Who did John send to exile?
So Jacqueline has to go, and Drew volunteered to go.
Right,
even though John said he was going to send him anyways, which I'm not sure a strategy behind that either.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I wasn't sure why Drew got sent or why he was. Yeah, I was really confused. I thought I was like, has that to do with the flint? Because he's an idiot? I wasn't sure really what was going on there. So yeah, I don't know either.
Either way, the whole thing turned out to be relatively uneventful, except for the fact that they got there. chose the urns. Hers was blank, and he instantly just started reading his out loud to her. So I guess
Oh,
there's
right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a little thing where some people are all about sharing. I don't know if that was a strategy game or if that was like a plan all along that he was going to do. Maybe him and John had talked about it already. We just didn't see that on camera, and it was kind of like if you ever end up there with her, share the clue. We can all be happy.
Yeah. Or maybe he knew that the idol wasn't even still out there. Because which tribe was it?
John
Idol?
Rocker's tribe is the one that got the idol because obviously he went home with it in his pocket, and that is the same tribe that not Drew but Jacqueline is on. So
Yeah, but no one knows that he had it. So
right.
yeah, I don't guess anyone knows that the idol's already out.
And what do you think about that? No new clue for a new idol.
I don't think. I think the idol. Well, the thing is, their clue was blank. But I guess. Well, no. Hmm. I think they could. I think they just put the. I think they put the idol back. I don't know,
You
man.
think it's
I
back
don't
in
know.
the same spot?
I think it is. I think it's back. I think the idol's back there. I believe. I don't know if I'm right though, but I believe it is.
That would be pretty entertaining if it was just back in the exact same spot, like nothing ever happened, and they're just gonna go on with it again. Because then you have a couple people that have clues already to it, right? Well, Val had one, but she's gone. Wait, which team is she on? Yeah, no, because that's on. Yeah. Val had one clue to it, and who else has been out to Exile?
It's way too late right now. My brain is normally we did this way earlier, and my brain is fried. I have to be at the Pharaoh day.
I just don't remember. No, Josh went out to Exile. Yeah, Josh went out to Exile with because he went with Keith.
Right.
So
Right.
Josh would have a clue as well. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if it was actually there.
Yeah, I want to believe they just put it back, but who knows? Who knows?
See, I
So
don't think
yeah,
they did. I don't think they did. I think when they go out with it in their pocket, I think it stays out.
I guess we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get a definitive answer
I
this
think.
season.
Well, I think at a merge they'll add another one.
Yeah, right. I know. That's why I'm saying I'm hoping we actually get to find out what they did. Because
Right.
right now we're just speculating. We don't actually know either way if it's back or not. Um, this episode, I forgot about this until I'm reading my notes over here. I completely forgot. So basically, they send Drew to Exile Island. While Drew's Exile and Keith finds the idol, and Keith looks for the idol, doesn't find the idol, and then comes back and's like, "This guy's got the idol over there." And then like that guy's like, "I ain't got the fucking idol." And then he's like, "Oh shit, maybe he didn't have the idol." Then he goes and finds the idol.
So, and I mean, he had a clue. I don't remember exactly what was on his clue, but the way he made it look when he was out looking for the idol, he was like, "So I decided to start digging around by the well," and he was just arbitrarily like
Yeah,
kicking
like
around
poking
dirt
sticks.
by the well. He's like, "It's got to be here somewhere." And the idol, if I recall, or the clue told you like where to go from the well.
Yeah, like 7 paces north.
And he's just like, "Oh, I'll find it around here somewhere." Nope, it's not here. So Jeremy must have it. And then, whoops, there it is. I randomly found it.
I like how he scared himself when you see him jump like it was gonna get him.
If you watch the scene, it looks like somebody like threw it at him. It like
I
bounced
know.
out of the ground.
Dude, where are you dumb?
It's like, oh yeah, we forgot to put it there. So here you go. Just throw it in from outside.
Yeah,
the-
right.
the scene. So he's
so
got
that-
the idol now. Nobody knows he has the idol.
Right.
Especially with him pointing the blame at somebody else with the idol.
You would almost think some people would try to put that together to some degree. Like, why is he trying to do that? I bet he's got it. I don't know.
Well,
At the time he didn't, but
Yeah, which ironically I was going to say would be a good strategy, but wasn't even true. But it just turned
Right.
out that it'll look that way if
Yeah.
it goes on.
So right after that, we go to the immunity challenge. And last week, you and I had a long discussion about throwing challenges and how dumb it is. And Drew shows up from Exile Island and decides, "I'm gonna throw the challenge."
And do you
Yeah.
think our discussion from last week was off based on what
No,
you just saw?
it was so absurdly relevant. We don't even really need to talk about it. It's just like, just go listen to what we said last week. We were just like seeing the future. But yeah, it's like, why did he do that?
And he did it unilaterally, like on his. Usually, it's a couple people in the tribe.
right, no one talked about it. He just showed up. I'm here to throw the challenge.
Yep. And it was from what he was saying. I was trying to piece together because he wants to get the girls out, maybe because he's afraid they're going to come after the guys. Is the closest I can even come.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I tried to find some kind of logic in what the hell he was saying, and there wasn't any. Like nothing made sense. He just showed up and he just had lost his mind on exile. He just lost his mind on exile, basically.
As well as telling Jacqueline that he was going to go back and throw the challenge, who's on the other tribe. Yeah,
one
on Exile Island. He straight up told her, he's like, oh no, you guys aren't going to be up there next time. I'm going to throw this challenge. We got some dead weight to get rid of.
I missed that.
And I was just like, wait, what?
Wow. Wow. I can't wait till they merge. I hope she's still around to tell people.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, well, I mean, does it really matter anymore, though?
No, it doesn't because of how the vote went, but
right.
it's just a great story. It's a great story. It needs to be told around the campfire, basically.
She's going to, it will be funny to see their tribe's reaction next week when she realizes that he's gone, and she's going to be like, he told me he was throwing the challenge to get rid of this dead weight, and he's the one that's gone. Like, yeah, that was, I can't even say one of the dumbest moves in the history of the game. He's just one of the dumbest players in the history of the game. How's that?
Oh yeah, here's this quote. I forgot I wrote this shit down. We need to go to tribal to vote some of the snakes out. If I don't win, we don't win. That's what makes me the kingpin of the tribe. I'm basically a badass. Those were his exact words.
Now, not far from the tree, his brother on the other side, him and Baylor go and get like tree mail, and right. And all it really shows is that he like hands her the tree mail, and she takes it like, thank you, and like starts reading it, and he starts yelling at her about snatching it out of her hands, and goes and snags it back from her, and he goes, see, how do you like that? I don't like that. Things like that don't happen to me. And I'm just like,
that's true.
Yeah, it was just his whole family is going to be.
I feel like they were all just, they're very pretty.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like I feel like they've gotten good things. Their life's been probably easy to some degree. I don't know. Like when I first saw them, Crystal wrote it down, but I never actually read it back. But I was like they showed these two guys like when they're introducing people in the very first episode, and they were all like, I was like, what the fuck are they, models? And then they go to tribe, and then they're like, yeah, we're models. Crystal's like, oh! I was like, okay, shut up. I don't know. I just didn't like it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So
and half that team down, and I'm very happy with that. Oh,
yeah,
horrible. But anyways, back to the immunity challenge. So a lot of running and swimming and jumping into the water, things like that. One thing I noticed about this challenge, you have to run up a ramp and jump into water and then swim out and collect the bag that has like your balls and stuff in it, or your rings that you're going to throw.
Yeah.
Half the people were jumping off this platform like straight down, feet first, into the water.
Like I would like to go down deep in the water, not forward. Right. I was like, do they not know how things work?
Yeah, that's the thing is, these people, they understand the game of Survivor. They understand what the point of these challenges is. Yet and I know some people are going to be like, well, they're just not that good of swimmers, blah, blah, blah. These are things you might have wanted to practice before going on Survivor. Just, I don't know. I just, that
it's always blown my mind when people get out there like, I can't swim.
Yeah. Then what are you doing here?
Right. You can't just get by on Survivor without being able to swim. You're on an island.
So Drew ends up, whether he threw the challenge or not, who knows? He definitely did his best to make sure they didn't win at the very end, but everything wasn't necessarily up to him. But either way,
I think it kind of was. He got to throw every single ring, and he was just like.
So that's they had to throw one ring at a time, and it was always the same ring. Like they had to retrieve it if it missed before they could throw again. Right. But they had a couple people up there ready to throw, and at one point, one of the people on their team yells over, Drew, just keep throwing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was like, he hasn't made any yet. Why?
I know. He's not even getting close.
He did hit one, and I thought that was smart on his part to try to throw off the fact that he was throwing the challenge. But I mean, Jeff Probst even calls out. He said, Drew, you are single-handedly losing this challenge for your team.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how people couldn't notice. And it just shows what an idiot he was, too, because, like, last week we were talking about he's the guy that was sitting around sleeping all the time.
Yep.
It's like you've sat around and done nothing. You've already pissed off the tribe. You did nothing, and now you've decided to throw a challenge. You're on the chopping block.
Without telling anybody or having any reason for it. Because Kelly, it's all about Kelly. Kelly. Who the hell's
Oh, that's
Kelly?
right. And then like the way he tells it too, it's like he's not even listening to anybody else. Like honestly, he probably wouldn't have been voted out if he had just listened to everyone else and got some kind of consensus with the guys. But since he was just like, no, everyone must vote Kelly. Everyone did their own thing.
And and the votes. So I tallied the votes up because everybody really did their own thing.
Uh-huh.
Drew went home. He had 4 votes. But you had 2 for Julie, 1 for Kelly, 1 for Keith. On top of that, you had 4 other votes spread between 3 different people because they really were not even close to being on the same page.
Yep.
And we all know who the Kelly vote was. So obviously Drew did nothing to get his point across because he's the only person who even voted his way.
Right. Yeah.
He threw a challenge because he was so sure he's the kingpin that's going to lead everybody, and not a single person followed him, including the 4 people that voted him out.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, honestly, it was the most poetic thing I've ever seen. It really was justice, right? Justice was served this day,
and that does not happen often in Survivor.
No,
so
no.
It is kind of nice to see, but at the same time, also gives me less to rant about during this weekly recap because it kind of happened the way I wanted it to in the end.
Right, exactly. I was so happy. I was like, please get rid of him because he's throwing the challenge, and then yeah, they did. It was like great.
Yep. I guess the main thing I have to say about this episode is you have one person with a known idol again now, and they're not even like on the radar. Well, they're on somebody. Keith's on somebody's radar because somebody voted for him. It must have been Jeremy, though, right?
Yeah, it was. It was still mad at him because
he told him
because he told people Jeremy had the idol. Right.
So other than that, scenes from next Survivor. Did you catch that part this week?
I don't think I don't think I paid attention that much. Because I knew I wasn't going to be here to actually watch it tomorrow. I'm going to be in Canada.
Do you want me to ruin some scenes from the
next? Yeah.
So scenes from the next, Jeff says, drop your buffs, and then it ends.
Really?
So it looks like they're probably going to be doing...
They're just going to mix it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like they'll be doing like a tribe swap of some type, which might prove to be interesting, because hopefully another idol will come back into play, because I would like there to be another one, since John Rocker left with the one.
Yes, we're not going to get the chance to see if they put it back, are we? God damn it.
I mean, they might still be just mixing up and often, living on the same different beaches.
That's true.
So, I mean, I can't imagine where else they'd
still change the clue at that point. I don't know.
They could change the clue at that point.
Yeah.
And put 2 more idols out there.
I hope that I hope they put an idol in this season that can be used after
the vote.
No, they did that last season. Remember?
Yeah, but it never got played.
Right, but I want him to put. Remember, he kept telling people he had one that could be used after the final 4.
Oh yeah.
And I hope they actually put one in this season that can be used after the final 4.
And that was a super smart strategy on his part.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was good. Good stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, that would be interesting to see. But then the question comes: is this going to be a season that's final 3 or final 2?
Right. Last season was final 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time they've gone back to final 2. And then if it's final 2, then that makes it okay again, I think, because you get to the final 3, but there's still another challenge and a vote and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, because they did actually have, which season was it? Season 18, I want to say. The last one with Exile Island. Was it the last one with Exile? I'm pretty sure it was. And I wish I could remember the guys' names, but the guy had an idol that you could play up through the final 3. And that was one of the first seasons that they had switched over from 2 to 3. It must have not been 18 then. It must have been an older one. But it was one that they switched from 2 to 3. So he actually had an idol that took him through to the end.
Right.
That he could have used, which I was like, I don't know if I like that. Like, you get an idol.
Yeah,
and
right.
Save it long enough
No, I don't like that. I don't want you to go to the final vote with an idol. But
yeah, I can definitely see them putting in another special idol, though, because that was a third idol in play. So there's 3 total idols in play when they did that last season, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that happening this season, but that would be interesting. They might take a play out of Tony's book.
Right, that's why I think it'd be fun. Like, because people actually, if you told people now, I can use, they'll be like, I watched this show too. You're not gonna fool me with the same bullshit that Tony tried to pull last season, but it would be actually true. So it'd be really fun, I think. So that's why I want him to do it, I guess.
That would be interesting if somebody tried, like, there was a special idol and somebody tried the exact same, like, strategy that Tony did
Yeah.
and just lied about it taking you through to the final three and getting people, like, tricked by it.
Yeah, yeah, people that actually believed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else about Survivor you got?
No, no. This Utopia show, man, this should be quick.
Hold on, I'm trying to get the Utopia logo up there for our viewers. All right, there we go. So, Utopia. Oh, beautiful
Um,
stuff happens at Utopia.
yeah, so man, there was like nothing to write down for the longest time. Why the fuck are they paying $750 for some guy to get married that they've known for 30 days or 50 days or whatever?
So, $30 or $750, I guess isn't that expensive for all the
No, it's
stuff that they
not.
got. But yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. They're short on money. They've only known him for just over a month. Or yeah, 50 days. It was the
They
50
had like
day special.
$2,000. It's like almost half their money.
But they make like $2,000 a week
I know,
now.
I know, I know.
The
Prostitution.
Survivor experience, yeah, or the Utopia experience,
Hmm.
yeah, prostitution ring. Um, yeah. So, what did you think about the wedding? Were you pleased? Was it romantic? Would you have been on Utopia for 50 days and wanted your marriage to be there?
Fuck no. That was the other thing too. I love all of you deeply, and I can't imagine any other people I would want to share this with. No, no. You just met. Like,
Yeah, that means there's something wrong with his life on the outside.
right.
If those
Like,
are the
oh
only
shit.
people he wants at his wedding.
Yeah, yeah. No shit. Yes.
Uh,
And then Aaron was the cook for everything, and he still doesn't wash his hands.
he's still. How many cakes do they make at Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, he was
I,
complaining about that cake making too. He didn't do too hot on that, and he apparently stole Josh's mayo. This is the drama the show can come up with. He stole some fucking mayo, and he the great part about that was Aaron's response was, "Why would I throw it in the trash if I was trying to hide it?" Like, what? What? Why would I throw it away if I wanted it to not be seen?
I mean, but I'm trying to even think about if he did, like, 'cause and obviously all signs point to that Aaron did this, and like tried to hide it in the trash can. If you went into the fridge and you realized there was a condiment, that was there that you did not purchase, and you used it, and you had like almost a full bottle, would you be like, better hide this shit because they'll notice that little bit being gone, but they might not notice the whole bottle missing? So
Right?
that shit in the trash
Well,
can.
that's the thing that doesn't. That's what I was so confused by. Like, he said he used it to cook dinner. Like, what did they have? Like tuna casserole? And he's like, just the whole bottle is down now in the thing. Like, what happened exactly? I would really some context was probably needed there.
Somebody who watches the live feed of one of the 13 of you guys that exist,
Right?
you need to let us know like what happened with that mayo. I
The
mean,
mayo
I mean,
story.
Aaron treated that mayo like you said they should have treated that other Flint on Survivor. He threw that shit right in the ocean. It was just gone.
Yes,
Like,
yes. The evidence is gone, and
and
then
the funny thing is, he's like, Josh brings up a good point. He's like, I didn't see your name on it. He's like, oh, the mayo with my name written right here, and it's like a Josh in big letters.
yeah,
written
it's
down
so
the side.
big. There's no way you could squeeze this without seeing it. It's impossible.
So,
He
so
was like, making a sandwich. I mean,
So one thing I thought was hilarious, though, was they talked about John having his personal budget because of the fact that, he has sex with these women for money or whatever. Or those men for money, excuse me. It was men for money on this last one. So they're showing the stuff that's his. One of the main things they showed was a big packet of bologna. He's spending his personal money at Utopia on ensuring he has bologna, and I just thought that was a little ridiculous.
well, that's the funny thing too. When you hear about their personal money, it's like your personal money this week. Hex is $4.12. It's like, oh, fuck, I'd probably buy bologna too. It's the only thing that's the budget.
You're right, it's cheap.
I mean, that's why he was so mad about his fucking mayo. The man splurged. He's like, I'm gonna have mayo this week, not just bologna.
I didn't even see what brand it was, too. It could have been expensive. So you think when they call the supermarkets that they have to call in all their orders, they're like, got any specials this week? And, we have coupons for that one.
No,
No, just straight
no.
up set budget.
I think they just buy whatever the hell they want to eat. I mean, I guess bologna's pretty cheap. But like that one guy was wanting ramen early on. People were like, no, no, we want brown rice.
Yet they have like stacks of ramen around that pantry now.
Yeah. Like I just to me it was dumb whenever the people were like whenever Red and whatever the other guy's name was asking for really cheap staple items and they were like, no, no, we're gonna buy. I'm a chef. This
Yeah,
is the response.
line cooks at Cracker Barrel who don't wash their hands know how to eat, man. You gotta let them do their thing. And then so that turns into a huge fight. Yelling, screaming. There was threats by Aaron to Josh that he was, I don't know exactly what he said, but I'm going to kill you at some point. Got brought up or something along those lines.
He said, "This is how you get your face punched in. If you keep kneeling, somebody's how you get your face punched in." And then Josh responds with
clean hands.
Yeah, right.
Man.
He responds with, "Is that a threat?" And then Aaron says, "Yes, it is." And then so immediately, since Josh has already been on trial, we got to have a trial. And the trial was so fucking stupid, man. The whole thing, it's just like they're just trying to make something entertaining and they're failing is what it feels like to me. Like that whole trial, it's like they really wanted to create something. This Utopia experience is supposed to be something that's different from what you see in the United States. And all they've done is emulate the United States government. That's all they've done. Everything you see there is just, this is what we've experienced in the United States, so we're going to do it here. Here's government and everything. Like even the courtroom is ran. The woman was taking minutes. Did you see her?
I didn't even see the minutes being taken.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, they completely remade democracy. Despite trying all those other things, they were always a democracy. They always had votes on things. Even when like one person was in charge, there was still voting on things going on. There was making their constitution. Their pillars. They're pillars of Utopia. Right. So trial goes. Aaron gives his closing statement. And he says, I don't know. I think I handled it very well. Talking about the threat that he made to Josh, that he thinks he handled that very well. And I was just like, really? You're on trial for what you said, and your response is going to be that you handled it very well by personally threatening somebody else.
Right.
Not probably going to win you points in the courtroom.
No.
Not saying I don't understand what you did or why you did it, but you didn't handle it well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And his thing was, a couple weeks ago, I really would have punched him. It's like, okay.
So you're trying to show how you've grown as a person.
Yeah, right. It's basically what he was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they both parties have to do an hour in anger management with someone. I can't remember who they're sentenced to go to anger management with. One of the other people there.
Is it Bella or Hex?
Neither, actually. I don't think it was either.
I don't remember. I was just throwing out two names hoping it was one of them.
No, can you imagine anger management with Bella? It would make you more angry. That's a damn true test of your anger management right there. Sit you down with Bella and just let her talk at you. God, couldn't handle it. And then Aaron's was given slave labor as well.
Do you think it's because he's black?
Yep. No, but it was pretty hilarious that they just cut to him, no shirt on, goes there with the pickaxe. He's like, yeah, doing the hard work. I don't know. It did seem a little.
So here's the deal, though. If you have a true punishment, why did Josh get punished at all?
Right. I don't know. He
was like, somebody used my mayonnaise. I must go to anger management.
Right. I guess next time he needs to suck it up. That's what he's learned. Just let people run all over you. That's what I do.
So after that, there's some drinking and stuff that happened after the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh
got really drunk.
Starts making some moves.
Yep. Going towards Bella. She comes in the house. He's like, Bella. She doesn't do it. And then she goes outside, and he follows her outside. And he's like, hey, can I just lay beside you?
And the funny thing is, she was like, no, which just shocked the hell out of me.
I know. I'm blown away.
And for two, he goes, no, okay. And he turns
around
and goes back inside.
I was actually really happy that that's what he did. I was so worried he was gonna just try to push it, you
Yeah,
know.
I thought he
So,
was going to as well, based
uh,
on day number one.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I think the funniest part was the next day. Hex was like, "Fuck, Bella, you should have took advantage of that. If there's a drunk person trying to sleep with you, fuck the shit out of him."
Hex
It's
is
just
smart
like,
enough to know that
wow.
Bella can't get much unless it's a drunk guy. So
That just I don't know. That was just crazy to me. The funny thing was, also after the wedding, speaking of the drinking and everything, so Decadence or whatever the hell her name is, Decadence, Decatur,
Decatur.
yeah, her and what's her boyfriend's name, Mike. They go to check on the Love Shack, and they just start fucking on the the newlyweds' bed. Like what the fuck? They had spread out flower petals and shit, and they're in there just getting it on.
And the funny thing was the scene that they showed from the inside, which by the way, they showed a scene from the inside. So
Yeah, they fucking put a camera
yeah.
in their fucking Love Shack, man.
So they made this Love Shack, and then the producers came out and they're like, "Boom, camera right here."
Yeah.
Like, so either way, the view that they show from the inside, the pedals were all like pushed to the one side of the bed. Were they just gonna push them back when they were done if they hadn't gotten caught?
Yep, everything's fine.
They're like, nope, we were never here. Don't worry.
I can't
about
believe everyone was just kind of. They thought it was funny. I was as a viewer. I was like, I can't. That's offensive. Like,
Yeah, everybody did find it really hilarious, and
yeah,
I was also kind of like, oh god. I wasn't offended per se, but I thought it'd be a little bit different than that. Reaction from everybody else, I mean.
right, right. So then the next day they go back to this day in Utopia or Utopia Experience or whatever, and they bring in a whole bunch more people and everything. And what was her name again? Decadence,
Decatur?
Decatur.
Is that her name? Not Decatur. I just said her name
Right
properly.
Deda,
Dedeker.
Dedeker.
I was like, Decatur? No.
She's the polyamorous one, which Mike said he didn't want anything to do with like 3 episodes ago because he doesn't want to have to fight. Basically, I think the guy's just like insecure or something, really. And then the beekeeper guy comes back and he has the hots for Decatur. Is that her name? Decatur? What was it?
Dectar.
Damn it! Dedeker.
Dedeker.
Dedeker goes off with the beekeeper, and Mike loses his shit. He's not happy about that at all.
Well, he wants to be like done with the relationship now.
Yeah,
Like
right.
he's finished. He can't take it. He knew what he was getting into. I think I think he knew what he was getting into to the extent that nobody else was there that was part of it. So in his little world, it was just those two. Despite
Right.
he was making out with some chick.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
He
last
made
week.
out with a visitor that came, and that was fine.
Which kind of made her hot. She was like, "So, how was she?" Like she
Yeah,
was all
I know.
excited. Like,
Dedeker was all about that. I love his insult to the beekeeper. Probably this was his grandma on his bee farm.
so the beekeeper's there. Was he trying to move in? Like literally move to Utopia? He made some comment about. I'm trying to see if I wrote down exactly what he said.
He was talking to Bella in the house.
Yeah, he was talking about how he would have to be there in order to make sure everything ran properly with the bees, and if he were there and if he were living here, he would do this. And like the way he made it sound is he was trying to like move himself into Utopia without going through the official casting process, beekeeper.
Right. Maybe he was. I don't know. At that point I was more interested in getting back outside with Mike and Dedeker. So I was kind of not listening to Beekeeper. I was like, what's crazy beekeeper guy doing in there with Bella? Oh, well, they're just talking crazy stuff, so it's fine.
So Mike's basically said goodbye to her
Right.
for now because he's moving to the other side of the barn or whatever he said.
I don't get it. What would you do in this situation? It's only
as her as Mike.
it's Mike. If you were Mike in this situation from the very start, would you have got involved with her because of the polyamorous stuff?
Probably not. But like I said, I can completely see where Mike's sitting there at the beginning and kind of saying, like, I know she's polyamorous, but seeing just the two of them and basically they've been a couple. She hasn't been with other people. So in his mind, they've been a couple for a little while now. And now that he's kind of under the realization again that somebody else is there and, oh, yeah, that's how she is. I think it's freaking him out because it's more reality. So I can see where he can make that like backwards.
But what would have
confusion.
happened? You know, these people have had visitors. What would he have done if one of her fucking boyfriends had showed up?
Good question. Good question. Or all of them.
Right. Yeah, the whole family.
And they all asked him to join in.
Yeah. Sit,
And
sit right here.
yeah. So I find it interesting that Dedeker's outside crying at the
Ah,
end.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess polyamorous, you truly are in love with all the people that
Yeah.
you're with.
Right.
You're not
Right.
just somebody. You're not a whore.
You're not just a whore, right?
You're somebody you love everybody that you're with. So, I mean, I don't know, but that's the part of it that I find more confusing. Like, because she also knew that he wasn't into the polyamory thing
Right.
at the beginning.
Right.
So, I mean, is it just as bad of a fault of hers for letting it progress, knowing that? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out if he turns into the life of polyamory or if she decides that she wants to settle down and be with it. And who knows? Maybe they'll make a 1 year pact like fucking Cal or Panama Jack did with the hot doctor. Like,
Did they actually? So they brought that back up, and apparently he has dated someone of every zodiac type for 3 month periods of time just to try it out,
yep, yep, you got to try it all out.
and they were all contract dates.
They
It's very
were.
weird.
Oh, I didn't catch that they were all
Yeah,
contract dates.
yeah. Like she was like, "Have you ever done this? Have you ever had a contract like this before?" And he said, "Yeah, I wanted to date one person of every zodiac, so I did 3 month contracts with each of them." Like, how does that even work? Like, I don't even understand. Like, what happens on day 90? You like pull out and walk out? Like, what the fuck happens? I
They're
don't
like
understand.
you did not
Shoot
re-sign your
load,
lease.
leave?
You did not re-sign in the time frame allotted.
Yeah.
Rent will increase or this relationship will end. I don't know, but I mean, she seems to be not against whatever's going on.
But she still keeps bringing up the we're not going to put anything in any holes or anything, right? I mean,
Which
she's
is
like
so
she's not
weird
into
to
the
me.
sex.
She's the sex doctor.
I know, it's so
I don't-
crazy.
Like is he that bad looking to you that
Yeah, I
you're a
just-
sex doctor and you're like, you know what? We could be in a relationship with no sex. Like I don't know. That part baffles me, and I unfortunately all these questions that we keep bringing up, I don't think we're ever gonna have answers to.
No, no. That guy is probably one of the strangest people I've ever seen on his television show.
So I don't know if you saw a comment in from our last video. If you checked out all the comments, somebody hilariously enough said, "I find it hilarious when people talk about people that I know. I've worked with Cal for years."
Oh God.
So apparently, we have somebody who watches who could give us true inside information.
Yeah, I would love to know. Okay, yeah, tell us all about because he is the strangest person. I'm spitting. Got water falling out of my mouth. But whenever he starts talking about how he is like the god of masculinity, he is the alpha of all alpha males. Like on a scale of 1 to 10 in alpha, he is 11.
Yeah,
And
he did make
and then
those
he's
kind
like,
of comments, didn't he?
yeah, oh yeah, he is the. And I love watching him fall out of that chair. He got too drunk. But then he turns to her and tells her, and that's how I feel about you as a woman. You're the most feminine of anyone here, and all this. I think he's just blowing smoke, though. I don't know.
But obviously, it's somewhat working. It's
Oh,
giving
yeah.
him the in. Like maybe it's just that he has more balls than I give him credit for because he's like I don't care. I'll go for it.
I
See
know.
what
I've
sticks.
seen stuff like that work, and it blows my mind. Like I've had friends like that. That's like, you're so full of shit. How does that ever work? And sometimes it just you throw enough bullshit, and sometimes it sticks. I guess.
Yeah, that one that confuses me. But like, so I'm not sure we're gonna ever get to see where all this stuff goes because I still do not. I have way less faith that this show is going anywhere. Especially at the end when freaking crazy announcer guy with his little half fedora hat, like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe him anymore. But Mr. Peanut in a hipster fashion. So he says Utopia won't be on next week because of the World Series, and I'm like, you already lost. You already lost your Tuesday.
Right.
You were a 2-day-a-week show. You just recently went down to 1 day a week because you're not good enough for the 1 day a week. And I understand you have to play the World Series. But you would think if you thought this show had any faith that you would just move the day to a
Oh
different day
yeah,
of the
oh
week.
yeah. If this show was like blowing up, like the newest, hottest thing on the network, they would have found a time slot
It's
for it.
so bad that they're like, not only are we cutting out Tuesdays, but fuck you during the World
Yeah,
Series.
right.
Like,
Just fuck out of here.
don't
We got
worry,
this
an
slot.
hour is plenty of time for us to catch up on the bullshit you guys have been up to in a 2 week span.
Right, right. Oh man, I would have loved to see them continue to try to do 2 episodes a week. If they're having this much, because the shit they're putting out on Friday or Thursday, whatever night it goes out, it isn't packed with like a week's worth of content. So
No.
how are they ever going to do 2 episodes a week? They
Oh.
really thought those people were going to be doing crazy shit. But yeah, like you said, the guy comes out and he says a bombshell is going to be dropping in 2 weeks. It's going to change the world
Yeah.
forever. Like,
Yeah,
what?
I wrote, that's my very last thing I have on my paper as well. There's going to be a bombshell in Utopia that's going to change how the show is. Do you think it's the cancellation notice?
That's what That's like the only thing you could really do to fix any of this is just shut it down.
That would
Like,
be the best way to introduce a pending cancellation, is to make
yeah,
people think it's some huge crazy thing, and it
right,
really is going to be like a producer knocking on the door and be like, "Guys, shut her down."
yeah,
Like,
right.
go home.
Yeah, my wife was like, the truth is, it's never gonna come back in 2 weeks. They're gonna just hope everyone forgot.
You know what? We'll probably forgot about it, and also we'll be recording this, and we'll be like, "What's after Survivor again?
Right?
Is it the American Race? Is that the one, or the Amazing Race? Is it that one?"
You should watch that.
I
No,
actually, I went home this weekend, and my mom was watching it, and I was on episode 4. So I
yeah.
was like, okay, I'll watch this episode with her and see what it's like. So I actually did catch up on what this season is now since then. So we could always talk about Amazing Race in this show too.
I think it was way better before. I don't know. Like we talk about Survivors changed over time. Like the first season of Amazing Race, like now they kind of had these checkpoints where they kind of make sure that people kind of get back together. But the first season of Amazing Race, the people that won it were like a full day ahead of the people behind them.
See, I thought when I originally had heard about Amazing Race that it was a show where you had a goal to do all these things around the world, and it was just kind of go.
Right. It used to be like that.
And and then when I was watching these, I was very confused, especially because, well, at the end of the episode, the very first episode I was watching, which was the latest one there so far, so I didn't get it at first, but he gets up to the end and he's like, "Well, we'll have to use our save," and I was like, "What the fuck is a save?" And
That's the first time this new this season.
oh,
Actually.
is it?
Yeah.
Well, and then on top of that, and he was like, "Don't worry about it. This is a non-elimination leg," and I was like,
The thing about
"Oh,
non-elimination, like those have always been there too. The non-elimination is not a new thing. But the way those work is the next thing they'll have to do an extra challenge called a speed bump, so it'll slow them down additionally. So not only will they have to do everything else everyone else is doing, they have to do an extra thing called a speed
oh,
bump.
okay." So there is
And
something else that they're. I was
yes,
gonna say
right,
otherwise this whole thing was
yeah,
absolutely pointless.
right. No, yeah, yeah. It's not pointless because then I mean they're obviously in the back and they have to now somehow do an extra challenge and pass some people.
So
For staying in
explain to me being in the back, because after catching up on this season, I think only the first episode did it seem to matter, but otherwise they were like, "Okay, we're up early. We were the first team. We get the midnight start," and they go and they're like, "Okay, we got our tickets for this shuttle that leaves at 6 a.m." And then everybody meets at the airport because they all leave in like hour
Right. That to
increments.
some degree, that's what happens now on the show. But now you're on the first flight, right? So like because they always like what it used to be like before 9/11. 9/11 really kind of messed it up more than anything, I think. Before 9/11, they could book on any airline. They just had like a budget. They couldn't fly first class, but they could do whatever. They could change flights as much as they wanted and shit like that. Now they have like a list of like certain number of flights, and so like what'll happen is they'll go to the airport. Let's say you were first to come in last leg, so now you get to go to the airport first, and there'll be like so many flights that have room for like 4 people that leave first. And then after that, all the the flights will be like 2 hours later. So if you came in first the day before, you'll be on the first flight out the next day. Now everyone's not going to be on the same flight. You know what I mean?
But these things would have to be scheduled that they would know
Yeah,
that
they
these
are.
are the only flights that there's going to be, or these people are guaranteed to be on seats on these flights.
Yeah.
Um, which I mean, 'cause the one people booked online and was it the last? See, I watched all four of them like together in one day, so I get them all mixed up on what they are. But they decided that they didn't want to wait until they got off the boat in the morning or whatever it was to try to get to the airport, so they booked
Yeah.
online
I think what happens, I
and
don't
ended
really know.
up
I've
getting
never
a
actually
completely
researched.
different flight and not even
Yeah.
the closest one.
I think that like Amazing Race pre-books a bunch of stuff with all the available flights that I guess that's what I've always decided is that they're pre-booking a bunch of stuff, so it's kind of being held. That way the flights don't fill up completely, and they're just like, well, we can't even shoot today because everyone's stuck at the airport.
Oh yeah,
Type of thing.
that'd be so entertaining if like somebody's plane got canceled,
That
delayed
no,
by
the shit
like
like
two
that does
hours.
happen. Like a couple seasons ago, people basically they were out of the race because they tried to they had a flight that had like a 45-minute layover, so they were going to beat everyone into the next leg by like 6 hours and be way ahead of everyone.
But they missed
But
it.
they missed their shit, and so they were just out of it. Like by the time they finally got a flight to go to where the challenges were, everyone else had checked in, and whenever that happens. He just meets them at like the airport and is like, all right, you're out. Just go home. You're out. So
How annoying would that be to get on a show like that and then be like, you're at the airport and you land before you even started trying to do your stuff, and they're like, yeah,
yeah,
you're done.
yeah. Well, they did that shit in Amazing Race like they did in Survivor one time, where like here's the 20 people, race to the book bags. There's only 19 of them.
Oh yeah, they have done that, and that annoys me. It really really annoys me.
It's like welcome, go home.
Yeah, Amazing Race is definitely it's entertaining. I like it, but I think the challenges are almost too staged from what I've seen so far. Granted, only seeing four of the later episodes, and it's very like you're not seeing the world. Like that's why my mom was like, "I'd love to be on this over Survivor because you're seeing the world," and I'm like,
The contestants are always say that too. It's like, no, you're not.
You're seeing bits and pieces of it for like seconds at a time,
Right.
and then getting specialty treatment
That's
because
the coolest part is the specialty treatment you're getting at touristic sites, right? So you're probably doing stuff that you really couldn't do at really cool locations. But yeah, you're not like I spent a week in Paris or whatever. Yeah, I was in Paris for 15 minutes. I did like that they went to Sweden. That's the first time I think they've gone to Sweden, or at least first time I paid attention when they were in Sweden. So I enjoyed getting to see Sweden through the eyes of the
but weren't
amazing.
they in and out of Sweden? Didn't they
Yeah,
like
they
drive
were
a
in.
car into
They
Sweden
drove
drive
in,
it
and then
like
when I
right
left back to
out?
Denmark.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, one of the challenges I found strange because again I don't remember what episode it was, but they gave them a funny compass and they had to dig up some treasure from like a beach following directions, but it was a compass that worked backwards.
Yeah.
So not a lot of people know how to use it, but the one guy really quickly figured out how the compass was set up because he goes, I got a compass on my watch, and yeah, it says that they're like opposite or whatever, and I'm like, was that an oversight on the part of the challenge planning people, or are you allowed to use anything that you have?
To some degree, you can have like they have a list of things you can have because I've looked this up before because I was like just bring a fucking smartphone or whatever,
Yeah.
or smartwatch, and just Google Maps everything, and here we go. But that's the thing, you can ask to use other people's smartphones. Like they can go up to someone on the street, like, can I use your phone? And then that happens a lot where they'll use someone's smartphone to get directions.
Excuse me, can I have your phone? Thank you.
Right.
Like,
Thank you. Yeah.
so, like money wise, and that's the thing about getting into a new show is I don't understand any of this stuff. Half the time they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna run there because it's close," and then the other people are like, "Let's take a taxi." Like, is money an issue?
Yeah, they get a certain amount of money at the start of each leg of the race, and then sometimes there's even legs where they're not given any money at all. But you can carry that money on with you into each leg. Like so if you give $100 now, we don't spend any of it. Then have $100 at the start of the next leg. But yeah, they're giving money at the start of every leg to get through each leg. And a lot of times, for instance, if it's one of the ones where they're not giving any money, it's set up where like you're not going to take cabs for the most part. So you really shouldn't need the money. I don't know what they do about food though. It never really shows that part of it. And I've heard too before there's been technical issues with cameramen, equipment failures or whatever, and then so like the parties get time credits for that. Like we had a 45-minute delay because of the cameraman, but like how like they all pick up their whatever car they were driving, the Ford whatever. They like sometimes the cars break down or you have a flat tire and the show doesn't do anything for that. Like even though we gave you this car to use, it broke down and you're gonna have to sit here and wait for AAA to show up or whatever,
Wow.
or you have to change your own tire, or they don't give a shit about any of that stuff. So, but yeah, no, it's not that great of a show. I kept thinking they were gonna cancel it because forever. This is the first season. It's on a Friday. For the last, it was on. Whatever night football comes on, Sunday, Saturday, whatever night that is, it was on the weekend. I think it was Sunday nights. And every time you would go to watch on your DVR, whatever football or basketball, whatever sport was being played, went over, and then 60 Minutes goes over. So you'd go to watch Amazing Race, and there's some old fucker talking on 60 Minutes, and that's all you got.
Oh,
And
that's
so, like, my wife hasn't watched like the last 4 seasons of Amazing Race because half of them wouldn't record because of whatever sport going over. So I really thought, like, they had said at one point they were talking about canceling because the ratings were so bad, and I assume the ratings were so bad because of this whole time issue because everyone uses DVRs now. But
so. I
anyways,
wonder how
they
it's.
moved it to Friday. I think it was smart.
I was gonna say, how do you think it's doing? I mean, it's up against
I've been wondering
good
that.
shows like Utopia. I don't know.
Right,
I don't
right,
know, man.
Yeah, it's just pretty funny actually. Oh yeah, I wonder if they're on the same time slot even.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think of what time I got in. It's probably
Huh.
it was either 8 or 9. The time it would have been, but that's when Utopia is as well. Either 8 or 9. So
Right,
it's one
yeah.
of the two.
Yeah,
Because that's a CBS show as well. Because that's a partner with Survivor as well.
right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they aren't competing networks.
yeah. Be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with Amazing Race this season just to kind of watch it through and kind of catch up on some old ones and see like differences with it. I don't know. We'll see if I continue to watch that one or not. It's entertaining. It's got cool concepts to it, but there's some things that I instantly was like, I
You would really
don't
like the
this.
season where Boston Rob and what's her name? Stephanie? No, Boston
Amber?
Rob and Amber.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
they
know
were
that
on.
they were even on it.
Yeah, they were on this season.
Oh, because on this one there is another couple from Survivor that's on it this season.
Really?
Whitney and
Oh yeah.
Alex, was that his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
I don't even remember, but
Yeah, there's a lot of it goes. I mean, there's a lot of seasons that have ex survivors, and then on Amazing, and then same with Survivor. There's several seasons that have ex Amazing Racers.
can you imagine Boston Rob's life is been how many days on Survivor, just on the island of Survivor, add that to then doing things like The Amazing Race. I mean, his life is just shows. It's
Yeah, he's been on
reality
Big
shows.
Brother too.
Has he really? Oh my
Almost
God.
positive about that. Let's look it up.
I can't tell if that'd be awesome or horrible. I think it'd be a little bit of both, depending on what your mood was that day.
Yeah, people are gonna say I'm an angry YouTube or Googler again because I'm fucking blind.
It does look like you're staring right at people out there, and you're
Yeah,
like,
I'm
"Hey,
so mad right now.
how dare Utopia not be on this week?" Urgh.
Over the years, Rob has hosted various television events and shows. ABC's The Split, UPN's The Player, Sci-Fi Investigates, in 2007 mega reward reality show Tone Teen, which never aired, apparently. He started his own production company, Merlino Productions. Well, fuck, him and his wife both won $1 million from CBS. I can't remember if they won Amazing Race or not, honestly. I won't tell you since
I
you
was
could
gonna
probably
say,
go back
don't
and
tell
watch
me
it.
because now I'll watch it. I'll try to find out what season that was and watch that through.
Rob also started his own regular CBS early show, Rob to the Rescue.
Really? So I don't even understand what made him. He must be one of those. What do you call them? Not the plants, but the. I can't even think. It's late for me as well. What do you call them? The not a true candidate, not somebody who truly applied for the show, but they have their
Right. Yeah, like we talked about last time.
people who
Connections.
put them up there. Because honestly, I think any season with Boston Rob, I think, has been pretty good. Like, I think he's a great player. I think he made the show fun. But if you watch the very first season of Survivor that he was on, I don't see any reason why they brought him back. He got voted out, like, kind of in the middle after doing
Right.
nothing special and calling everybody Fruit Loops. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay. I watched that, granted, after I had watched one where he came back. So I already knew who he was, but I had gone back and watched it because I watched him, like, really out of order. And I was like, I wonder why they picked this guy to come back again, because He really didn't do anything that special. That's
I've read on
spectacular.
the like coming back. It's a lot of times it's just how the people reacted. So maybe just lots of people really liked him for whatever reason. I don't know.
But I mean, he wasn't somebody that resonated with me as somebody that people would
Yeah.
have really liked that first time he was on there.
Right. Right.
Just some dude. That was it. I don't know.
You know, me and I've talked about our favorite episode or seasons of Survivor, and I think I would really like to see them do what they did to Stephanie again, where you remember that season where there wasn't a merge until one tribe was gone.
Yeah, until there was the one person left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it was just Stephanie, and she was all alone,
But
and then they brought her over.
the thing I don't like about that though is, granted, she didn't go first when that happened, but she went pretty quick. Because you are then dealing with literally it is
Yeah,
everybody else against me, unless you're extremely lucky, or the
but the
season.
thing is, she could have came in and just fucking wrecked, right? She could have won every challenge and gone with. It. I mean, yeah, I
True.
mean, more often than not, probably not. You're gonna merge, and they're just gonna vote him out,
Yeah.
right?
So the first season with Russell Hantz. I was watching that season. I thought it was extremely entertaining the way that everything was going down in that season. And their tribe had 3 people merging with a tribe of 7. And I was like, this is a shame because that tribe is just decimated. And
Yeah,
then at the end of that, it was of the final 3, it was 2 of those guys still left. And
yeah,
the other guy only got voted out the one before because the other dude had immunity. So they couldn't vote him out.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
just amazing that it happened like that. So
Right.
crazy things can happen, but it's
Yeah,
just not
just
likely.
pretty rare.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I should go. I have to catch a flight in an hour and 50 some minutes.
Oh well, dude. See ya. Good luck.
Yeah. Bye.